Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about gardening, sometimes about life. If you've not already subscribed, please do so if you're just finding this channel, and share along with us. Enjoy hearing from people as far as what they're doing in the garden and their progress and things that they're discovering. I think it's very exciting to see progress in people's gardens as they grow and learn and just enjoy the peace of the garden. But we have some Super Sweet 100 VF hybrid cherry tomato plants, and I am planting them up in solo cups. Now these solo cups are recycled. We have a monthly event here at our home from the church, and whenever we do that, we always have everybody save their solo cups. So these are pre-used solo cups and gently rinsed and become garden cups. And sometimes they end up in the garden. These plants end up in the garden. Sometimes I end up giving them away to friends. So everything finds a place for the most part. Occasionally I'll discover a cup plant that I had not a plant in a cup that I did not get planted out. Last year we had a few of them, but we were kind of busy with our first year in the garden, setting up new garden beds and filling with compost and just all kinds of things. But one of the things I wanted to talk about real quickly is this soil. And you can see I've got a big bin of soil over here that I am planting things into. And there's a little bit of a lot of stuff in here, and there's a lot of talk. I see a lot of people talk about getting the perfect soil mix, and I am a strong believer. I know when there's something that works for you. We learned that so that we could do better in our own gardens, and I think you should. But the interesting thing is, as many people as there are inventing recipes for different soils that we use for uppotting and putting in the garden and everything else, there are methods for success. A lot of people have success, but one of the biggest things that I think runs common in all of these methods is that we're looking for healthy soil. And we want to make this soil as healthy as possible. And one of the things we have to remember is healthy soil actually has a lot of life in it. If you've ever dug through a compost bin and you've seen worms, the worms are the obvious part. You can see the worms anywhere. And that's one of the very first signs of good life in soil. But dig a little deeper and you'll see what we call roly-polies. You see little centipedes and earwigs and stuff like that. And that's just some of the things that you might see, but there's also so much more that you will not see that's in there. And there are so many levels of life in this soil that it's hard to imagine how much and how important it is to the life of the plant. Because a lot of the stuff that we put in the soil, especially when we're talking about organic fertilizers, a lot of the stuff is not ready for a plant to uptake into their roots. Eggshells, for instance. I have a lot of eggshells in my compost. There are eggshells in this bin right here. Some of these eggshells have been in this bin for up to 3 years. And so they've taken years to be broken down. And so that actually provides calcium, which is good for especially tomato plant health, but it's a nutrient that a lot of plants need. But anyway, the thing that converts those elements into things that the plants can use is a lot of the microbiology that's in this soil right here. And we grew up thinking, bacteria, viruses, fungus, all that stuff. Don't touch it, don't touch it. And mom and dad may have told you not to touch nasty things. And I know some people whose mom and dad told them, have at it, you know? And so anyway, what I find most interesting is the diversity in here is the most important thing in the soil. And for instance, bacteria. Bacteria are just fascinating single cell organisms, and they will cover surfaces and start converting things into waste, and that waste is then usable by plants. But the interesting thing is, if you have a surface, and I am not a biologist, I'll tell you up front, do not believe me. I encourage you to do your own research to confirm that what I'm saying, okay? I don't want to come across as someone who's saying, listen to my words, my truth, and this is the gospel. It's not what I'm trying to say. This is what I've studied and what I've read from the professionals, the people who know. And so, look at those roots. This is some nice roots growing in there. This thing is just perfectly ready to go into a cup of its own and start growing. But anyway, so as bacteria will cover the surface of something, we're talking microscopically. They have seen bacteria cover a surface, and it's all the same kind of bacteria. The bacteria know that there's no diversity in there. The reason why they know that is if another bacteria comes along and wants to get on that surface that's the same as everybody else, the bacteria will actually get bigger and prevent that bacteria from landing on that surface. How they do that without brains, I don't understand. They've got some kind of brain going on in there, but I don't know how that works. I'm not the biologist. But anyway, so what I find even more fascinating is that if another type of bacteria comes along, and it's a type of bacteria that there is either too few of or none of, the other bacteria will shrink and make room for it and allow it to sit on the surface where it is needed. This is a lot of what goes on in the gut health, in our stomachs, in our intestinal lining. The diversity of the health in our digestive tract works the same way. And so we want diversity, which is why, and at the risk of getting this video too very long, I'm trying to make a series of relatively short, just topical videos here, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a diversity of life in this soil. In fact, there is a small insect. I don't think it's too small for you. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh, it's a little roly-poly. Oops. Anyway, there's all kinds of diverse things in here. But anyway, our soil needs that diversity. And we're talking about the recipe of what's in my soil. And right now, in this particular bin, and I'll be honest, I don't have a set recipe. And sometimes I put this, sometimes I put that, sometimes I don't have, like right now, I don't have any perlite. And so I dumped some soil from some failed seed starts that did have perlite, so I have a little bit of perlite in here. I do like to have more perlite. Oh, there's a big old centipede coming across there. Squirrel. Anyway, so I've got soil in here that comes, it's the Stay Green potting mix. And I have some stuff in here that I just went out to my compost bin and got raw, dark compost that's over a year old, just beautifully rich stuff. And so getting these ingredients from different locations is going to put diversity into the microbiology of the soil, and it will make things more healthy, it will make things grow better, and it just overall is just more healthy for the soil that these plants are going to go into. And so potting mix or your up potting mix or your garden mix, keep that in mind and be encouraged if you feel like you need to get soil from different areas. There's a lot of horse bedding compost in my soil, a lot of it. I mean, I have this diversity of stuff that brings different kinds of bacteria, different kinds of fungus, different kinds of life into the soil so that the plants can be more healthy. Now, that's not quite as many. Oh, looky there. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Is that a grub? I don't think it was. I thought there was a grub in there, but maybe not. Anyway, so, you know, don't be afraid to get your soil from diverse places to increase the life, the diversity of life in your soil. I know I will recycle empty, pots that plants are long gone from. I'll recycle the dirt back into bins just like this. It's a little moist. There's a little bit of moisture in here. So it's when these plants go in, they're getting the moisture they need. But yeah, so do your research. Find out about the diversity of life, because when God created the planet, He created it for that diversity. And it's fascinating because we can see that in every aspect of biology. And scientifically, this is not just conjecture. This is scientific evidence. You can actually see video of bacteria shrinking to make room for other types of bacteria. It blows my mind. I'm not a biology person. Mrs. Bowtie is, and I don't know if she can find stuff like that. Maybe we can try to find an animation of that, or maybe video of that. I've got a few people. That'd be interesting to see if I can put in here. If it's not in here, then I didn't find it soon enough. But anyway, so yeah, just look for that diversity. Keep your soil going from as many different locations as you can. A lot of the compost here is made from kitchen scraps, lawn cuttings, raked leaves from various places. I collect from neighbors and so all. So anyway, please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. If you're just stumbling along finding our channel, and if you have subscribed and have come back to see another video, I appreciate that very much. These are free things that you can do to help grow the community. If you thought this was informational, educational, inspirational, or just entertaining, please click the thumbs up and share this video on your social media. Again, free things you can do. It just takes a couple of clicks, and you can play part in growing the community. So anyway, looking forward to a big weekend of projects myself. So stay tuned and have a blessed day.